What's up, y'all? If you've ever wondered how to solve a cryptic crossword, taken one look at one and been like, what? Then this is the video for you. I'm going to give you a breakdown of the most common clue types that you'll find in a cryptic crossword. Even if you're a complete beginner and have no idea where to start, I'm going to clue you in. Clue. Never gets old. So you can get cracking cryptic crosswords in no time. Hey guys, my name's Azmain, I'm a junior doctor from London, and I post videos about medicine, music, productivity, and personal development, including learning new skills like cryptic crosswords. If that kind of thing interests you, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I release new videos. It helps a lot, so thank you so much. Now this video is part 2 of my series, How to Solve Cryptic Crosswords for Beginners. The link to part 1 is in the description below, but don't worry, you can still follow along to this video, so feel free to check out part 1 when you've finished this video. Now, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so let's review some of the rules of cryptic crosswords that we discussed in part 1. Cryptic clues are codes, not sentences. The standard definition is usually at the beginning or end of the clue, and you have to figure out which it is. The remainder of the clue is cryptic wordplay, and there are many different types of clues, of which we're going to discuss a few of them in this video. Parsing refers to the process of figuring out how the clue works, and a point I didn't make in part 1 is that every word in a cryptic clue is important. A good clue has nothing extra, however, the punctuation points are usually an intentional distraction. Clue types that we will be discussing. In part 1, link in the description, we covered anagrams, charades, and hidden words. In this video, part 2, we're going to cover the following 5 common types of clues: double definitions, containers, deletions, homophones, and reversals. And we'll save the rest for part 3 coming soon, including cryptic definitions, letter banks, spoonerisms, and literal clues. Keep in mind that a single crossword clue will very often incorporate a couple of these clue types together, so we'll also look at a few combination clues in part 3, so subscribe and stay tuned for that. I wanted to make a very important point before we discuss the different clue types. Cryptic crosswords are supposed to be fun, not stressful, and it is not cheating if you look up the answers when you're just trying to learn. The only way you'll get better is if you learn how they work, so feel free to do any of the following. Reveal or check your answers when doing online crosswords. Google search entire clues, you're likely to find the answer somewhere. Look up an online dictionary or thesaurus. Look up cryptic crossword abbreviation lists. Abbreviations are extremely common and can be very specific or niche, and it takes a while to get a handle on them. Part 4 of this series will be dedicated to abbreviations. Search up references such as historical, literary, geographical, political, television, etc. For example, these may be obvious to a British person doing a British crossword, but impossible otherwise, so just look them up if you need to. And use walkthrough websites like 15squared.net, which explain how all the clues in a daily crossword work. Double definitions. Now, these clues are pretty fun and super satisfying when you get them. Rather than having a definition part and a wordplay part, these are instead made of 2 definitions. There aren't necessarily any specific indicators for this clue type, but they do tend to be shorter. Let's go through a couple examples. Not seeing window covering 5 letters. Can you guess what the answer is? Not seeing means someone is blind, a window covering is also a blind, so the answer here is blind. Let's look at another example. Eastern European, buff, 6 letters. Eastern European could refer to someone from an Eastern European country. Buff, in this case, we should interpret as a verb meaning to rub clean or make shiny. But the first reading makes it seem like buff is a noun meaning a muscular person.
Buff.
So what word could refer to both of these? Well, an Eastern European could be a Polish person, someone from Poland. To buff could also mean to polish, as in polishing a floor. Note that these are heteronyms, words that are spelt the same but pronounced and mean different things. So the answer here is Polish or polish. Containers. A container clue puts one set of letters inside another. Indicator words include outside of, inside, around, about, enters, clutching, etc. Here's an example. Apostle's friend outside of university. 4 letters. I'm actually going to give you the answer straight away, so pause now if you want to figure it out yourself. The answer is Paul, referring to St. Paul the Apostle who spread the teachings of Jesus in the 1st century AD. Some cryptic clues do require you to use some general knowledge, just like a normal crossword. But how does this work as a container clue? We've worked out that apostle is the definition at the beginning of the clue, so the remainder is cryptic wordplay. Note the apostrophe S. In English, apostrophe S could either mean the possessive, in other words belonging to someone, or short for the word is. Cryptic crosswords love grammatical ambiguity like this. In this circumstance, we have to read apostles as apostle is. In other words, the answer meaning apostle is achieved by manipulating the rest of the clue, so we should not read it as belonging to apostle. So a quick warning that in cryptic crosswords things aren't always as they seem, so you always have to think laterally and change your perspective if you want to get to the correct answer. Returning to the clue, another word for friend is pal. Outside of is the container indicator. University could be shortened to the letter U. Abbreviations are crucial and very common, so pick them up and use them to your advantage. Part 4 will be dedicated to abbreviations. So, putting pal outside of U gives us Paul. Deletions. Deletions are where letters are removed from part of the clue to give the answer. Beheadments are where the head or the first letter is removed. Indicators include beheaded, topless, don't start after the first. Curtailments are where the tail is chopped off, so you remove the last letter. Indicators include endlessly, nearly, and unfinished. Internal deletions are where letters in the middle are removed. Indicators include heartless, hollow, outside, etc. Here's an example. Beheaded celebrity is sailor, 3 letters. Beheaded is our indicator to remove the first letter. Another word for celebrity is star, and sailor is the definition at the end of the clue. Notice how the word is separates the cryptic wordplay from the definition, just like the apostrophe S earlier. Taking away the first letter of star gives us tar, which refers to sailor in cryptic crosswords because sailors use tarpaulin sheets. But the word sailor could refer to other things in a cryptic crossword. AB, short for able-bodied seaman. Jack, which is slang for sailor. OS, which is short for ordinary seaman. And sailors in the plural could refer to RN, the Royal Navy. Similarly, boat or ship could refer to SS, or a steamship. Crossword setters have favourite abbreviations and synonyms that are really niche and specific to cryptic crosswords. Don't worry, it takes time and experience to get used to all of these cryptic synonyms and abbreviations. You can always look them up in cryptic crossword abbreviation lists online, but now that I've told you, you'll start spotting them in no time. Homophones. And yes, that's homophones with an N. We are accepting and inclusive of everyone on this channel. Homophones are words that sound the same but have a different spelling and meaning. For example, night as opposed to day versus a knight in shining armour. There will always be an indicator referring to phonetics or sounding like something. For example, reportedly, they say, vocal, on the radio, in conversation, is heard, sounds like, etc. A couple interesting tricky indicators. Utterly in normal English refers to completely or absolutely, but cryptic crosswords love looking at things from a different perspective, so it might refer to how a word is uttered or spoken, and therefore might be a homophone indicator. The word broadcast may either be a homophone indicator or an anagram indicator. Now that's just mean, isn't it? We're going to cover misleading clues later on in this series. Let's look at a homophone example. We hear twins shave. 4 letters. We hear is the homophone indicator. Another word for twins is pair, and shave is the definition at the end of the clue. So we're looking for a word that means shave that sounds like pair. So the answer is pair, spelt P-A-R-E. Reversals. A word that gets turned around to make another word is a reversal. Indicators depend on the direction of the clue. For across clues, indicators include receding, in the mirror, returns, left, going the wrong way. For down clues, indicators include rising, overturned, mounted, comes up. Returned beer fit for a king, 5 letters. Returned is the reversal indicator. A type of beer is lager. Fit for a king is the definition at the end of the clue. If we reverse the letters in lager, we get regal, which means fit for a king. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it useful, please give it a like and share with your friends. In part 3, we are going to be discussing the other remaining types of clues and combination clues too. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next videos come out. Until the next time, stay groovy.